Been so long, we're finally gonna watch more charity. Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... I just realized that I actually forgot to link the original video, so I will do that once I finish with the intro. So here is the intro, I guess. Yeah, it has been definitely a long time. I've mentioned a couple of times, over the course of the past month or so. It's like, oh yeah, but maybe I'll go back to charity after this. I'll go back to charity after this. I'll go back to charity. It's kind of like saying go back to Jakku in The Force Awakens and whatnot. That was a whole meme back in the day. It kind of felt a little bit like that, to be honest, because yeah, for some reason this is the one that I was trying to make sure didn't fall under my radar, because I was rotating so many other things at the time. It was like, oh well, okay, I'll come back to this, but if something falls down, sometimes I will scroll through my not my live feed, my live history, and then I'll see something that's like, oh wow, I haven't talked about this show in a long time. I was dreading charity becoming one of those, because yeah, it really did grab me. Definitely more so than the Fartnado Dub, which actually came out directly after the last minisode that we watched. Or I think in between the two of them, actually, which I completely missed. I thought it was, significantly further down the line after charity, but I guess not. My timing was off. Honestly, sometimes, don't know, when it comes to things that say, however many years ago it was, and then compared to the dates that certain things came out in Gacha, sometimes I mess those up in my own head a couple of times, like my one failure in terms of the maths that is involved in this. But there you go. I've got to use that A-star GCSE for something, after all. Okay, so we're going to get back into the swing of things, see what's cooking in OHS, see what we're not supposed to read into. But before we do that, let's bring Ghosty in, because I need to edit that description.
I'm working on the next sequence of the Plex thumbnail, and Bond gave me so many red assets.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So everything to me is just layered and a lot of brown subtext.
Yeah.
It's all brown.
It's like the Nether, isn't it?
It's brown all the way down.
And it was all brown. Not quite as catchy as the Coldplay version. Oh, I also wrote forgo it. There we go.
So I'm just using all of these brown images, yep, this totally looks great. But really, I'm just putting it together, hoping it looks decent.
Yeah, see, if this were a piece of music, I would call that Beethovening. Because I talk about this sometimes. I coined that phrase.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm Beethovening so hard right now.
Well, there's probably some equivalent in terms of sight, but yeah, because I say Beethovening because yeah, if anyone doesn't know about this for the audience, I coined the phrase in 2015 when I was doing a project for IT class, and I don't remember if it was because I didn't have access to school headphones, or the school headphones that we did have were so bad and so broken that they stopped working. However, I had used that exact same website for making music separately, so I actually knew what certain things I wanted to use sounded like. So I've been practicing, so I put everything together. I knew the timing because obviously they outlined them there, so I was going by sight alone, much like Beethoven was when writing his later works, because he wasn't always deaf. He went deaf later in life, is my understanding. So yeah, that's the that's why I call it Beethovening. Yeah, I don't know what the sight equivalent would be. Actually, have to be something else.
I'd like to give you a preview of how bad this looks for me, but that's technically spoiler material, so I'm not gonna give it to you.
That is fine. Once be sure to hold on to that. Once the episode comes out, then you can show me.
Yeah, once the episode comes out, you get to see how horrible it looks from my perspective. But I'm doing the best I can.
Fair enough. All right then.
This is more so for Bond, because I know they like to come back to review streams later.
Yeah.
Vaughn, you've done a horrible thing to me just now. I hate you as a passionate friend.
It's kind of like how Kaiser Neko talks about Lanny Pator sometimes. He says, for most of the time you're my best friend. For those first 2 weeks of every new episode, you're my worst enemy. Because apparently Lanny was the one who sent like all the different like paragraphs of notes at once. Again, after being presented with demo sequences with excruciating detail, basically, which is usually accurate detail, but yeah, it's when you're the editor of the series, especially the sole editor in a lot of cases. Oh my!
Let me give you a taster of how bad this looks.
Without spoiling, then yeah.
Mira's hair is brown. The background is also brown. The character she's standing next to, brown.
Are they all different shades of brown?
They're all different shades of brown, but they're shades of brown that mix together in a very unsatisfactory way from my perspective.
Okay, yeah, that tracks.
And the only thing that sticks out is the blue of her earrings and her necklace. And her shorts.
Honestly, like hints of blue in a sea of brown would just be the most devastating thing to look at. Yeah, I get that.
And not only that, but one of the characters is silhouetted in front, so it matches the brown of the background in a delightfully unappealing way.
I was gonna say if it fully matches, the silhouette just turn invisible.
It does turn invisible in certain places.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I'm having. I don't know how to make it uninvisible. According to Aiden, it looks fine from his perspective, but from my perspective, it looks horrendous.
I'm definitely curious. Well, first of all, you showed Aiden Secrets of the Black spoilers.
No, I sent him a screenshot of the one corner of the thumbnail that isn't a spoiler, and he was okay. "Oh, it looks fine from my perspective, but I know it looks very different for you."
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of things that look horrible from the creator's perspective, most likely, I don't know how WizGaming feels about this. That was my only segue. Charity. Let's. Well, we've reviewed like the first episode and mini episodes. It took a while before the next one came out, but this was the first voice acted project that WizGamingXD started, and this is also following the Fartnado dub, which I'm now thinking was partially made to bridge the gap. And like I said before, that was a really good idea on paper. Basically,
bad in practice. I haven't watched the Fartnado dub.
Yeah, well, the issue with it was that they ruined it via too many ad libs. Basically, they were trying to add onto a scenario that was already inherently funny to some degree, with just like way too much.
Although LOL XD kind of jokes.
Essentially, I love Oreos. Can't stand double stuffed Oreos. The texture just messes with me so much.
Oh, I see. It was the video equivalent of a triple stuffed Oreo.
Essentially, yes. Yeah.
You see, double stuffed. I don't know. It's fine for certain people, but triple stuffed is just too much stuff. Too much stuff.
I haven't even attempted. I guess the last time I had double stuff was when I was a kid, so I guess my mouth was smaller back then. But yeah, in general, also, I just haven't even attempted triple stuffed as a result. Okay, let's go back to something that involves less what the Alpha Sisters refer to as satire, and see where we go from here. So without further ado, on with the review. I've already complimented this intro, but I do really love that, I haven't seen anything like this in any other Gacha series. It's probably the most unique intro that I've seen, at least like that first part. This part, not so much, because I've done that before. But yeah, the first part was. Also, I would love to read the names for more than a few seconds, but yeah, either way.
We have somebody else, Catherine, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, we're starting off the same way. Well, not the same way as last time. The last episode started with a phone call to her dad, but was like off screen. But then the first visual scene we saw was this again. Nothing wrong with the formula on paper. We've definitely run into a bit of a routine with the whole Misty Lake and waking up in Lou's room.
I don't know why it's Lou every time. Like
yeah,
Aiden had it slip that Lou is the only boy in the party, and I think that's because the love interest, the Lady of the Lake, is supposed to be a love interest of some sort.
Aiden wants a D&D romance. He's really trying to get a D&D romance.
He wants a D&D romance, but I hate to tell you, bud, but it's very gay-coded.
I was gonna say, I mean, Scooby might have been right. He much could use a boyfriend, maybe.
Like, depends on what your outfit choice is, Jacob. Can't wait to see it.
Oh, okay. You meant Lou's outfit choice, not Orchid's. Okay, because she's changing outfits too. Because I need to I need to decide what she actually what clothing she found in the rat store.
The rat store.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting outfit.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm actually going to public school. And I have friends for once in my life.
Like, I can't believe instead of E-he-he, like, E-H-E-H, it was just E.
Yeah. My guess is the script said E, the voice actor said E-he-he, and it was never altered. Which, yeah, to be honest, I've got an upcoming project where the text on screen was very important, and one of the main voice actors was Aiden, so you can imagine why that's been delayed due to re-edits.
And yeah, Aiden has the reading comprehension of a skunk trapped in a trash can.
Yeah, see, normally it doesn't matter because most of the time it's rephrasing that is sort of, on point, at least nowadays. It's just, again, that video, it'll make sense when it comes out.
Friends again. Well, it's way too late to think about that now. Just gotta do what I can.
I always appreciate a little Mario Galaxy remix.
Definitely.
No, this is just straight up the background music for Mario Galaxy. I own that game. I recognize this very frequently.
No, yeah, I recognize the tune as well, but I don't know why, but I always feel like it had fewer tambourines in it for some reason. I thought that was that's why I said remix.
Though I am still a bit upset. My parents haven't been here a single morning, but it's fine, because at least I have friends to walk to school with.
You're really emphasizing the friends angle quite a lot.
Like, I'm guessing that's because she only has friends. Like, her parents are absent, so she's banking on the fact that her friends are such good friends.
That is probably what they're trying to do with here, but yeah, like either that or something that's going to go wrong and the friends aren't going to be there. Then again, they get a chance to ride in a limo, so they're going to show up for that reason alone.
The maid is about to say something.
Yeah.
Speak to me speak upon us with words which we understand.
April, your parents have alerted me that they want you to be driven to school from now on.
From now on? Didn't she get driven back from school last time?
Wait, what? Why? I haven't done anything. Are they seriously trying to isolate me even more?
It's for your own good, madam. Please finish eating so your Shafir may bring you to school.
Your Shafir?
Shafir. So your Shafir can bring you to school.
Have we not had enough bad French in Gacha review recently? My goodness, more of it. It's Les Miserables all over again. All right.
Okay, I think my main problem, especially with the maid's voice acting, is that it's too quiet. It's too breathy, and there's too much background noise, kind of empowering the voice. Or it's not high enough so that I can hear it. Like, I'm missing every other word because it's not loud enough.
Yeah,
compared to everything else in the video.
Yeah, that is actually something that they taught me in drama school, actually. That actually there's like different type of projection that you would need for deeper voices. So like the idea of like reflecting it off the ground, or you actually go like a bit of a higher
project
pitch.
A little more.
Yeah, because obviously that advice I gave in drama school of like imagining it being reflected off the ground when you're projecting toward that thing, but also speak forward, just like a little bit of like a curve. that obviously applies to physical acting. Voice acting, a little bit different because you can't really do that properly with the microphone in place. So that's the limitation. Yeah.
See about.
Man, we're going through all the Nintendo soundtracks today.
The main character got aggressive, and now we have what is this? Pokemon battle theme?
It is Pokemon. Yes.
Why does April have a Pokemon battle theme for which she gets aggressive?
I don't know. It's just like, okay, I'm so sorry to hear this. That you're. Please finish so your chauffeur can go. If I could do anything, I honestly would. That's their decision, unfortunately. Yeah,
like I like it. April stopped talking for a moment, and I heard that, and suddenly it became the only thing I could think about.
This definitely trumps episode 4 of Not Your Average Girl in terms of use of Pokemon being a complete non sequitur. I think, yeah.
Like, I love the custom background, and the posing is pretty decent. We're close up to April, meaning that there was some camera trickery afoot. That I love, but the background music.
Yeah. What I'm thinking happened is not necessarily this camera trickery that because obviously this is a custom background for Gacha, so we would have to have the character on a green screen anyway, or like some kind of chroma key. So the character's been chroma keyed, but it's also been resized. So it's not the camera has zoomed in necessarily, but the character has grown to occupy the front space. There are a lot of gachas that was around like this time period, particularly where everyone was trying to work and saw like one person do it, which might have been Midori Stories actually, and then suddenly everyone decided, okay, we're going to do the captions thing now. We're also going to and we're going to have them in the foreground. I'm guessing that most of the angles we're going to see are going to look like this for that reason. If I'm wrong, then fantastic. But let's see. Also, Vin, you are very close to a bingo right now. Oh, okay. Excuse me, what? That's true. You're going to go hungry in protest? Those look some good pancakes. You're pressing against the wrong person as well. It wasn't even the parents that made you the pancakes. I guess she ran away in order to walk to school. Which, I mean, fair, I guess. She did walk to school in the first episode, but she was picked up back from the school. To be honest, yeah. I mean, she might possibly be able to, get her friends to ride a limo with her, because that was the thing that she cared about, was being with the friends, not to say the walking part. But, we'll see.
Oh, there's a something in private chat. Jacob, I'm sorry if I'm bothering you. Jess has a spot open for the musical singing battle right now.
Okay, so this is because I said in the Alpha Sisters Discord server that, oh, what a shame that I didn't get a chance to, because all the spots were full for the musical theme, which is this week's singing battle. Here's the thing.
It would be lovely if we were to, stop streaming right now and participate. But unfortunately, we're reviewing non-Alpha Sisters content, so we can't just abandon ye all who enter here.
Yeah, so, well, and also, I haven't sent in my character or anything. Maybe I could probably do that relatively quickly. Tell you what, if we finish the review in time, and I'm able to go last, and they're still streaming when we finish, then we'll go. But I'll go. I also don't have a song prepared because I was rejected before, so I don't. I have to pick something relatively quickly as well.
I don't have access to the Alpha Sisters Discord server. Neither do I like the Alpha Sisters content enough to be in there in the first place. So I'm gonna have to not take Jacob's spot on this one.
No, yeah, no, that's. Oh, you meant in terms of go for the placement news battle yourself. I mean, that would have been a way around it, but I don't know. KW might. KW loves musicals, especially Hades Town recently. You never know.
Hey, April. Notice anything different?
Big brain thinking intensifies. Okay, see, that kind of ad-lib is nice. Well, not ad-lib, really, because it was scripted, but still.
It's scripted, but that kind of... Like, I do like the inflection he gave off, though. That is the only thing that, you know, endears me to this character. His design is pretty basic. Why is he wearing socks up into his shorts? Why do you kind of look like the scout from TF2?
Maybe that was the inspiration.
The new haircut?
I mean, obviously, April seems to, you know, be mirroring Adrian Agreste's character arc. So, you know, aside from the part about the past transgressions against Harmony, because that was obviously another thing that Adrian did. But yeah, you know, yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. Tokoyami, if you're still here, if you ask KW nicely, maybe she'll join the singing battle in my stead.
How could you tell? No. I actually woke up before Harmony did today.
Wow.
Okay, the noticing the different thing is that's...
I actually woke up before Harmony did today.
You've had one day to know each other.
Oh,
but,
congratulations! Okay. Seems like the first time in forever, right?
Does it? I mean, how... wait, hold on. Have you been going to school regularly? I thought it was like your second day. You seem to be excited about like that as if it had just started happening.
You're excited about the like goings on of perfect strangers. Congratulations.
I'm just imagining like an early episode of Miraculous now where Adrian just like wakes up and just goes like, "Oh boy, Plague, I gotta go to school today." Like, yeah, Adrian, you've been doing that for ages.
Oh boy, Marinette, you sure do. This is my first time meeting you. You sure do look good today. We've known each other for a while.
Yeah, I was like, are you okay? Actually, wait, no. Early Marinette would take that as a sign that she's not memorable and get like insecure about it. Anyway.
You're right, because she's not. Listen, I will take any and all opportunity to dunk on Miraculous.
I'll take an opportunity to dunk on Plague, even though I just did an impression of him, but yeah. And well, Plague. There you go, like that's. I'll take an opportunity to dunk on Plague. Definitely worst character.
Plague is the worst, isn't he? Like, I do like Plague's design as a black cat with green eyes.
Yeah.
Not an inspirational design, but works for what they were going for. But Plague himself as a character is such a one-note kind of cat that I kind of get annoyed by his presence every time he's on screen.
Yeah, it's just because, like, in comparison to Tiki, who, like, has, like, an actual, seems like, genuine connection, offers, like, proper advice, and has, you know, more nuance to it. We find out that she has different food cravings as well later on. That's just one aspect of her, not the entire thing. Anyway.
As opposed to Plague, whose entire personality is cheese.
Yeah, it's like the times that like, Adrian actually needs someone to talk to, that's all that he seemed to care about. Anyway.
I digress. What I'm hoping is that she'll come...
I thought you said aggressed for a second there. I was still in that mode. Okay.
You could replace Adrian with a giant statue of him made of cheese, and Plague would care just as much.
The new Chathaniel cheese noir. Fromage noir. Fromage noir. There we go.
Fromage noir.
Maybe. Yeah, one of the two.
Running up to us soon. And you know what I'll say? Oh, Harmony. Who's the sleepyhead now?
Who are you?
Jake, I didn't think you were the type to hold grudges. Especially since it's been weeks since the first day of school.
Okay, so we're acknowledging it's been weeks. All right, then. So she wasn't just randomly well, no, she was randomly excited then. Also, what happened to the character's hat? There's a chunk removed. Did, like, the god of universe take a bite out of it or something? What's going on there? I'm guessing that was a chroma key thing. Maybe it's like a green accessory somewhere there. I don't know.
So I predict that the main characters are going to move, but the background extras are going to be totally still.
Potentially, yeah.
Oh, you have no idea.
Why do
that I've you know
like
I've seen
here? Like, I'm gonna like quickly point this out. Why do the random background extras have more design than our main characters?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, aside from the fact that, you know, Cthulhu seems to take an issue with one of them, you know, the rest of them pretty solid. Yeah.
Cthulhu.
The reminds me of MCD Lawrence. There's MCD Garth, like some kind of ship child. Well, you know a thing or two about those, don't you, Ghost Kitty?
I do love my ship children.
Mm-hmm. You don't need Nathaniel without choose. You weren't even there for that. Well, actually, no, you were there at the end. You were at the very end, and I was like, okay, don't you worry. I'm getting rid of this character.
Anyways, what kind of soccer player would I be if I wasn't competitive?
I guess you're right. Wait, you play soccer and you never told me?
I thought that was,
what
hair. I thought like the orangey brown was meant to be like part of his hair or something. No, it was a dog in the background. Okay.
Wait, what, like, could you play that sequence of poses for our main character again?
Okay. I was just distracted by the dog. Yeah, fair enough.
And you never.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And what are you doing?
I think the idea was that was like, you know, like how this particular thing in anime where like short protagonist ends up like yelling really loudly about something that's like very mundane, and it's like, I'm leaning in like this because I want to really emphasize the point about this. I care this to a extreme degree, but of course the voicing is, you know, you play soccer and you never told me? What are you doing?
Like, and even then, she's not shorter than the guy. They're the same height. I think she's taller, actually.
Oh,
so
maybe,
it just looks like she's leaning in to give him a smooch.
I'm so used to the anime archetype. I just assume short automatically, but yeah.
Me?
Duh. Have you seen my clothes?
Oh yes, they definitely give soccer player vibes automatically. And
no, they don't.
No
you look like the scout from TF2, just without the extra bits that make Scout's design interesting.
That's why.
Like, no offense, but I would see you in a crowd of generic gacha characters, and I wouldn't look twice at you as a soccer player.
No, probably also if you're not in a lab of other soccer players with the same uniform, mind you, that's one thing. Anyway. Know the story of the guy on the bench and the girl setting up a picnic? Do they know each other? Are they complete strangers? Why are they dressed so fancy? That's they're all very valid questions. I mean, I would assume they would know each other just on account of the fact that, you know, otherwise it's rare for someone to have a picnic basket and not be enjoying it with somebody else.
Also, why is the girl who's having a picnic also doing toe touches and not moving an inch?
I think she was meant to be reaching for the basket, like, you know, Food Glorious Food style, but yeah, not really.
Since the background extras don't move, she's just kind of stuck in this pose. At least the guy on the bench is doing something relaxing. Meanwhile, the girl in the front is just going to break her spine as soon as time stops standing still.
Yeah, in all fairness, the guy just relaxing. That's all he really can do right now, aside from, you know, hemorrhage internally.
But yeah, it's great being outdoors and
It's like time has started standing still, but the only thing not standing still is our protagonist.
Apparently Mark's the captain of the high school team. Even though I was the captain of the middle school one.
Did you assume that would transfer over? How many middle schools are there?
Also, I gotta say, his audio is too quiet too. He has the same problem as the maid.
Yeah.
He literally won by one vote.
I mean, when he's predicting normally, it's fine because he's trying to be quieter now. They haven't compensated for that with the music, so yeah.
Him and the music are fighting for the audience's attention, and the music is winning.
Ugh, I should have been one, not him.
By the way, this is Animal Crossing.
Yeah, again, another Nintendo game. Just going through the. I mean. It makes sense from a copyright perspective, but my goodness, yeah, not even different game companies.
By the way, this is the evening soundtrack from the newest Animal Crossing game.
Oh, so it's not so they're playing an evening soundtrack in the middle of the day. All right, then.
Yes.
Odd choice, but sure.
Are you excited for today?
Why do you ask? There's no special event that I didn't hear of, is there?
well, if there was a special event that you didn't hear of, that would mean a special event that you didn't hear of. If you did hear of a special event, that would also mean there'd be something going on. And if you didn't hear about this, and how would you know that the special event that you didn't hear of if you haven't heard of it? So no matter what angle you look at it, that sentence makes no sense.
Because, man,
I'd rather have a sentence that makes no sense other than him being this quiet. The audio didn't readjust.
Yeah, at least we have the captions, but it would be nice to have both. And people, Sophie Gray and Tyler Azure. Let's get both color names because I think it's like gray and blue a lot. Well, I mean, okay, sure, but I mean, I don't know. I guess from my perspective, from characters, would be that, you know, well, they don't pick their names usually, so usually I don't go with like things that match their aesthetics.
You
But
pick
that's
your
a me
names
thing.
like you pick your favorite food. Sometimes it's just a matter of taste.
Yeah.
I'd be glad to skip class if that's what you mean.
Just
I don't think so. I guess I'm just typed up for school.
Psst, I'm not. But you've only been exposed to it for like, what?
A few weeks now.
3 weeks?
3, there we
Give it
go.
some time, you'll get sick of it too.
Okay, so essentially, April has been able to walk with her friends for a month. So at least it's one case like, oh wow, you know, suddenly and abruptly, okay, we've changed our minds on the first day. That does suggest that something might have happened during that time. Because yeah, unlike Agent Agrest, you know, the overprotectiveness angle from the parents doesn't seem to shine through for any particular reason. They just seem to be absent and neglectful rather than also protective. So like the whole isolation thing also, and bear in mind like the dad agreed to sending her to public school very immediately. So it's not like we have a Gabriel comparison automatically necessarily.
You know, unless it's the mother angle that's where all of this is stemming from.
Maybe something happened to her mother in the past like 3 weeks.
We'll see, I guess.
Dito Gacha.
Nope. Yeah, me possibly. I don't know what you mean by that.
Who are you?
Oh,
What are you doing in these lands?
New person you haven't met yet. Has been in the last couple of reviews actually in VC.
Do they want in?
Maybe.
Is that what they mean by me possibly?
I don't know. Possibly.
Also, finally, a character who feels explicitly designed.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you wearing so much yellow?
Well, actually, it's green. So it's different shades of green to offset the blonde. So it works a little bit better. Yeah.
I am cursed. Someone please kill me.
And it was all yellow. See, now it works. Now it works properly. Didn't work with brown before.
What?
Good morning. Did you get your beauty rest?
But
Finally,
how?
I can hear without needing to strain my ears.
Yeah. By the way, the suspense sound from Metal Gear, which by the way, different video game sound effect actually. That only works if the person has been staring at the subject of their of the surprise for a few seconds, which was what happened in this case.
Also, yeah, it is my point. Dita Gotcha does one in.
Yeah. No, that's another thing. The girl which doesn't match the mint green of her outfit. Her glasses are gold, which don't match the mint green of her outfit. Now one beard.
Oh,
Like,
why?
for me, it's all practically one. Like, for me, her design is very monochromatic, so it fits for me, but not anybody else. I'm cursed. I didn't even notice.
I mean, I've said this before, it would have been a huge coincidence if she found glasses that perfectly matched her hair. That would personally distract me a lot more than the gold in comparison to the blonde. Well, I don't know. We'll see what Dito thinks. What do you think of Harmony's design?
The blonde one?
Yeah, the blonde
Yes.
one.
Personally, I would like if there was a bit more contrast to the outfit besides green and white.
Honestly valid.
Yeah, you don't
Like,
ever having too many
At
colors.
least she's wearing different colors of green. The hat doesn't contrast with her shirt jacket too much.
Well, I mean, the hat is a very dark green in comparison to the jacket, which is so very light. So,
Like,
from
but
that
I have
perspective,
to
it
say
does contrast a bit.
this is a design that would have been fixed with a neck accessory of some sort. Aside from our main character, no other character has had a neck accessory.
Well, we'll see. I think the extras did actually. Another reason why they stunted it out a bit more.
Also, is that Frisk from Undertale?
I don't think so. I think
Nope.
it's Scout from TF2.
Today?
Oh wait, no, you mean April. Okay, yeah, April does look a little bit like Frisk. Yeah, yeah, we don't get the permanent Brock from Pokemon eyes closed that Frisk has. So yeah, I guess.
And since I'm the president of the book club, I need to get everything ready for today's recruitment.
Including the books you dropped on the ground, I assume.
What's your excuse for being so late?
But we're early.
Home, details.
Details.
Detail.
You tried.
While we're on the topic of recruiting members, how would you like to join the club, April? I'd asked Jake, but he's a bit of a... how should I say this? A late bloomer?
I ran into Harmony. She tried to recruit me.
By the way, might I say, this is Undertale Death by Glamour in the background.
Ah, well, I guess that Undertale connection sort of makes more sense then.
At least it's a remix of Death by Glamour, and I don't like it.
Yeah, see, that's again, maybe they're all subtle remixes to some degree, just a bit less subtle than tambourines in Mario Galaxy.
I legit don't see how that.
Well, I do like to read, but do you mind if I think on it a little? Other clubs are going to start today, right?
I wonder if a short man in a blue jacket's gonna show up to April and be like, "You want to have a bad time?"
On second thought, Harmony, I will join your literature club as long as that guy's not in it.
I just want to see what's available.
Forget about those other amateur clubs. I'm offended that you don't want to join mine.
All clubs are amateur.
I'm pretty sure you're the first club she knows about.
Yeah.
This Death by Glamour remix is honestly overcoming most of the voice acting except for Harmony.
I mean, even Harmony's faltering a little bit, at least on a performance level. Forget about all those amateur classes. I'm very favorable to join mine. I am very angry.
Yeah, but at least I can hear Harmony over the looming background music.
I'm joking.
Oh, funny.
Anyways, today in class, Miss Russo told me that she'll be going over the possible clubs and extracurricular activities you can sign up for. After that, you'll be able to go around the school and pick out what you want to do.
Oh my gosh. How could I have forgotten?
Well,
I do like how club orientation starts 3 weeks after the rest of the classes do.
out of the two of us, I am the more organized one.
Shit.
Who says the Digger Sands and Harmony is Papyrus? Well, I mean, I don't know. If actually, I don't know.
Like, if Harmony is Papyrus, then why does Death by Glamour play in the background? If anything, she's the Metaton of this series.
Join my book club!
We don't want to be late.
You're right. April, let's go.
Welcome back, students! Today, you'll be exploring the various clubs here at Orchid High. In just a few minutes, you'll be able to go around the school and visit the clubs that you wanted to sign up for.
We already had characters talking about this. Why do we need another scene with a teacher recapping exactly what we've already heard them say?
Any questions so far?
If we're hosting a club, are we allowed to go to our stations right now? I'm really not in the mood for another boring lecture.
Okay, aside from the fact that, yeah, this makes... Dito, you're echoing. Yeah, so, aside from the fact that, yeah, like, this makes sense in terms of like, going to, you know, if you're going to host a concert set up early, that's fair. But yeah, like, the whole boring lecture thing, probably not necessary to add that on top. But then again, this is the same teacher who said that the school burns down from last episode, so maybe I'm just like very blunt in this series.
Oh, yes. That completely slipped my mind. I suppose you'll need to get them ready.
Why does she sound so sarcastic when she's like, was that? I mean, I guess the character does look sarcastic. Maybe she is just, you know, condescending to everyone.
I like to think she just personally hates Crystal.
She hates that one student in particular.
Yeah.
Pages of those books on the teacher's desk are blending in with the white classroom walls. You're very right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know how far they went. It's just like folded bits of paper, actually.
There is no pages, only covers.
Yeah.
Please go to your stations if you run a club. And please, don't come back.
There it is. There it is. She said the whole school burns down thing last time under her breath, but that was very obvious to everyone.
Naruto
okay,
run.
well, I have not seen a Naruto run in Gacha in a long time. They used to be everywhere. I kind of miss them, to be honest. Aside from the fact that the character's legs aren't actually shuffling, which I forgot to mention earlier.
Now, back to business. You'll find the drama club in the auditorium. The book club will be in the library. The martial art club is in the gym.
I'd hate to mention this, but the audio is just ever so slightly overpowering her voice.
Yep. If I had a nickel for a time that's been an issue so far, I would have at least 4. I think that's how many times we pointed that out. It's just every new actor they introduce has the same problem, it seems.
Which is not a lot. But it's weird that happens 4 times.
Actually, 6.
Oh, well, even more so.
You could get like 3 gumballs.
All right, good to know. I think I've had 1 gumball in my entire life. I never paid attention to that. But yeah, fair enough.
And there is a community service club that meets in the cafeteria. You know what?
Yeah, before this next like remark from the teacher, most club orientation days are arranged so that you'll have booths you need to set up, rather than like going to, well, the locations that they would be in logically. That does track, but you know, if you're not aware of like all the things that are available to you, you want like one convenient location where they can all advertise to you collectively on equal grounds. That's why they normally do.
Like, for example, set up the booths in like the gym.
Yeah. I guess that would be a little complicated visually from a gacha perspective. Not that I, you know, well, I say I haven't done that before because technically in Midako Season 3, that wasn't my scene. So I think that was it Quadzi who edited that scene of the booth? Which is like, it was only one that was relevant, so they didn't have like several others, but they could have.
No, just go.
But yeah, in the case of like people, you know, starting out, very complicated. So maybe that's why that was done. Oh, you just have to find the other clubs. Oh, well, now it gets worse.
You're gonna have to find the other clubs yourself, because I really don't feel like wasting my breath on you nasty children. So, get out and come back when you're
Why
done.
do you become a teacher?
Yeah, which one of the English rooms is the English club? I don't know which one that is.
Why do you become a teacher?
Why did you become a teacher if you hate children so much?
Où est le club de français, s'il vous plaît?
Or don't. It's not like I care.
It's a girls and students put up one school as in his moments as dissarts. Maybe that's why Anna keeps bringing her back.
Just wait.
Very well. Did he just jump out the window? I think he just jumped out the window. Yeah. Like, look at the reflection on the ground. That's definitely a window.
So, hi. Charles, was it?
Correct. Oh, well, there you go.
Get that guy who jumped out the window first aid, but I don't really care.
Yeah, so no blue jacket this time, but certainly a jacket.
Do you know what clubs you're setting up for yet?
I doubt I'm going to participate in any.
By the way, one thing that we haven't seen yet, which might happen or might not, because she says, "Oh, Charles, is it?" Like she hasn't had class with him for possibly 3 weeks. Not that you would necessarily know everyone in all your classes, depending on like how your high school's set up. Don't get me wrong, but it's more likely that she would have a greater collection of people that she knows. If she's going to have to still introduce herself to everyone after 3 weeks, then chances are that isolation has not, just hasn't broken out of that fully just yet.
What about the martial arts club? Didn't you say that you participated in that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, this is the character that said he had black belts in karate, taekwondo, and martial arts. 3 different things.
If you think any of them would stand a chance against me, you're sadly mistaken.
She never implied there would stand a chance against you. She implied that you would be interested in going to such places.
Why do you kind of look insane for like 3 frames?
I don't know. I mean, this is old gacha humor in terms of yes, character goes yandere mode for a second equals funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you never know if you don't try.
Yeah, but okay. Even if you want to join just to show off, that would be a motivation. Clubs need members of all sorts.
He looks like he listens to Suffocation.
I've never heard that song before, so I can't really comment on that.
Makes sense.
But I don't know if that's the title, but it's like the song that goes, "Cut my life into pieces."
Oh, no, I've heard this one. Yeah, no, I've heard this one. Yeah, I don't know what it's called either, but yeah, I've heard that one.
Suffocation, no breathing.
It looks like the guy who's into screamy emo death metal, but like as an aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. You know how in like there's some parts of TikTok where someone's like that someone's like dancing who can't hear what they're listening to, and it's like, oh, I wonder what she's listening to. And like it's someone who's like acting like very cutesy on purpose, and then you hear the music and it's like it's like death metal of some kind. I'm imagining the direct opposite for this character. I'm imagining that he listens to do some like very refined classical music, and no one would expect him to. Or
he listens to Sabrina Carpenter.
Also a good choice. Yeah.
Him dancing like it's in a rock band to Espresso.
I was actually thinking about Espresso particularly, yeah.
Sheesh. What an interesting character.
Is that you saying that, or was that the writer trying to make us think that?
Okay,
I'm kidding.
So I feel like drama club would be fun, and I definitely want to support Harmony and her book club. Community service seems fun, but not this time.
Community service seems fun.
If community service was fun, then why does everyone complain when they get it?
I feel like, yeah, that feels like the detention track from Owl House, to be honest. Not meant to be an incentive, let's say.
So I'll go to those places, then look around, I guess.
We need Gacha review in our Gacha series, Gachaception.
Wait, what?
We need Gacha review in a Gacha series, Gachaception.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I did play around a couple of like early Gacha reviews before it became a live show of me as my Gacha self reviewing stuff. It took too long to edit. I could do that now with PNG tubers, I honestly, but yeah. I wonder what the plot of a show called Gacha review would be aside from linking it to the episodes.
They just review review the news. They're the news channel.
Oh my, okay.
Real life review.
Well, that doesn't sound too unique necessarily, but anyway.
Is this the drama club?
Why, yes it is. I'm so glad you decided to join, after all.
Well, she's looking around yet, but anyway.
There must be darkness for every star to shine.
That's not how I would personally sell a drama club, but okay, you do you.
Mozart.
Maybe, or maybe she's the one who likes death metal. She swapped with Charles before.
And
Yeah.
look, Billy, Elena, and I are almost twins.
Very interesting.
Not the
expression you pulled
Gacha,
there.
not the Roblox based PNG on top of that.
That is very smoothly edited. Not gonna lie, I'm just wondering
More
why.
smoothly edited than mine.
I'm just really wondering why exactly. Also, hi Johnny. Oh wait, hold on a second. What was that? Wait a second. Wait. Give me a moment.
Shine. And look, Billy, Elena, and I are.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because I was like, that is definitely an outfit that was definitely like as that Billie Eilish had. So it's like, what is the name of the character? Billie Alina. Got it.
Billie Eyelash.
Yeah, but everyone says Billie Eyelash. That's like the first thing people think of. Alina's not much better. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. Maybe it should have been Wilhelmina Alina or something.
Or Eilish Billy.
I mean, yeah, that would be something, I guess.
Oh, sorry. I meant to thank you for joining. The sign-ups are over there.
I didn't say I would. Never mind. Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. She's doing a job for us.
So many people have signed up this year, Rose. I think we'll be able to put on a larger show.
Honestly,
I'm sorry.
jealous. I have tried so many times, like putting on shows, and my biggest hurdle is people signing up for them. I was told in my third year that it would be nice if somebody who wanted to write a show would write like an ensemble piece. You know, something that like everyone, or not everyone, but you know, most people who weren't like involved in like other smaller productions for the end of year, because that's what we were being assessed on, could all take part in. You know, because it'd be nice to wrap up the year group with like a group effort. So I was like, absolutely, I will do that. So I crafted it. Well, I recycled a script that I had half made anyway, because I had a musical half prepared that was intended for Gacha, but I tapped it to stage. I pitched that. People liked it. Problem is, by that point, so many of them had already made packs before we were supposed to start pitching and were already involved in other shows with people. So yes, I got one of the largest groups of people for the show, but it was definitely not an ensemble piece. It didn't even cover all the speaking roles that were intended to exist. Anyway.
Maybe Into the Woods?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is good for ensemble. I've been Into the Woods before. That makes sense.
Hey,
That tracks.
isn't that April? She's gonna sign up, isn't she?
Why does Crystal sound like she's like on an intercom device?
Probably because the voice actor has a really terrible mic quality.
Maybe her taste isn't all that bad.
See, I told you.
She even got new clothes. You can't say they're fashionable, but they are a major upgrade from those rags.
There you go.
There
you go. We're but you've been vindicated, Ghosty. The characters agree with you on the unfashionable choice that April has endured.
She's not wrong, but you don't shout that with the person you're trying to get to join your club while they're in the room.
Yeah, this person has this VA has the opposite problem to the others. She's actually too loud compared to the others being too quiet.
She used to wear.
Also, rags she used to wear? I don't think you would describe anything that April used to wear as rags per se, especially given her background.
Wait, what?
Are you sure you want to sign up? You look a bit nervous.
Huh?
Harmony,
Yeah, because I heard them insulting me, and I'm not sure if I want to sign up anymore.
Harmony.
Yeah, that does track. Maybe she will join the book club after all. Speaking of which, aren't you meant to be running that, Harmony? Why are you here?
Harmony.
No,
Harmony, get out, you leprechaun.
All right, I guess that does track.
Gotta.
Also, the second person to mention the glasses not matching, I suppose. I mean, again, I said before, it would be a coincidence in real life if the glasses were identical to her hair, but I guess that specific choice of goal was probably not the one to go with to make that difference.
Now that I realize it, I can't unsee it now.
Oh, that's right. You weren't there when we talked about it before. Yeah, you're right.
Doing that.
I'm just trying to look out for your best interests. You know, you could come take a look at the book club instead. With, you know, me instead of Rose.
That would be nicer on a friend level, but then again, if she's more interested in drama, especially, I guess, like, you know, she's trying to put herself out there. So even my own theater kid bias aside, it is still probably more ideal than a book club, which, you know, to some degree would permit a certain level of solitude you would not get from drama.
Who's apparently your childhood friend, but I haven't figured out how that works.
Okay.
The Mean Girls are friend was the main character. That actually reminds me. I don't remember what the name of the girl who dressed in black in Mean Girls was. The one who was like the one who like just. Well, the one who like despised Regina George more than anyone. But yeah, I saw a video say one time where she was described as the truest Mean Girl. But anyway.
Then. So, where is everybody?
What is this medieval library?
I mean, yeah, that's a good question, because Gacha does already have existing libraries. I'm guessing because WizGaming wanted to like use all new backgrounds to some degree, or mostly new backgrounds. I don't know. Actually, wait, no. What am I saying? Some of those were like very obviously from Gacha. What am I talking about? I guess. I guess go as simple as, hey, check out this fancy library. I'm going to put it in the middle of a school that was probably too small to accommodate it. But there you go.
The school's like 70% library.
Thank you.
70% library, 10% classrooms, 9%, 4% students.
The founder of the school purchased the ground the library was already built on, and then just like build the school around it.
Yeah.
Which would be a great origin story, not gonna lie, but yeah.
Well, nobody decided to sign up. Everybody says that they apparently have no time, but I have a strong suspicion that they just...
Oh, okay, I guess. Good and good to, like, you know, point that out and have some self-awareness. I do wonder how that happened, though, actually. I guess chroma key again. Oh, yeah, you can see the bit of the outline of the chroma key now that we've zoomed in. Which, yeah, this is the difference between the zoom in that we could have for effect and the characters simply being resized like they've been so far.
Don't like to read.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'd like to sign up.
Yeah, they already have to read for their classes if we're like following the standard American curriculum. But I gotta say, after school, I didn't want to read either.
I'd like to sign up. Because you are the only person. Because you're the only person who hasn't verbally insulted me yet.
Yeah. See, here's something that I found. You know, like especially because I took English literature for A level, which basically they took there were with A levels you choose like options to like pursue further. They're not quite college level, but approaching. That's the idea. Yeah, the thing. The thing is, yeah, like 50% of the material that I was assigned to read, I really enjoyed. The other 50% was you know, trash to some degree. I think a lot of people just like really don't like the books they were chosen to like read and like over analyzing class, and that really puts them off. So I get that too. One thing I've noticed actually that I kind of took away from school was that because actually my mum made this observation multiple times that I spent a lot of the time, especially like even whether it was like lunch breaks or whatever, just like writing in notebooks anyway. But when it came down to assessments, I was less motivated. I still did them, but I wasn't as keen. I wasn't as I wasn't as into them necessarily. And that was because yeah, like I mean, if you're forced to write about a topic, you're less interested in it. The thing with like book clubs or even like reading in general, like reader programs, because this thing that we did at my school was called the Accelerated Reader Program, where we basically you were forced to take part in that to some degree as well, but you chose what you were able to read, and they did tell you like reading levels, and you chose to advance or not. You could do more, but there was like a minimum requirement basically, and you would have to take quizzes on like what happened in the books to make sure you actually had properly read them basically. So there was a certain element of freedom in there that I think probably also encouraged a lot more people, because the library club was not super big in my secondary school, but we were small school, relatively speaking, anyway. So proportionately, it was decently sized. And I went to Harry Potter World that one time, so there were perks. I say we. They invited me. I was not part of the library club, but they invited me because I was the Harry Potter kid in school, and they had extra spots. I was like, "Yep, all right, I'll accompany you."
That real book is so out of place. Why are there just some things out of place?
Yeah, this the thing. Like I found that I am not bothered by non-vector backgrounds or transitions in Gacha, as evidenced by the latest Music Girl episode. I will not do that again, rest assured. But I'm not bothered by that to the same degree that most other people are. But props do take me out of it in a way that I can't describe, but I'm assuming is relatable to everyone else, so I probably don't need to. Oh, school that was built on the grounds of the library sounds like a beginning of a magical mystery story, like an isekai story, or both. Yeah, potentially. That could have been what Glamour Academy was, but not so. I can make that the lore for Alpha Witch Academy, actually. Just say the library that I have not introduced yet existed there to begin with. Why not? I need to flesh out the school lore a little bit. That'd be nice. Anyway, it also reminds me of the Library of Legends from Glitter Force, where all the fairy tales and the different worlds are stored.
Glitter Force reference?
Yeah, I've only seen episode 1 of Glitter Force, so I can't verify that, but yeah, makes sense.
Despair.
Let's get it now. Yeah.
No, it was the was it the Minds of Despair, like the creatures they summoned? I remember they had like a big red clown nose, or sometimes even a blue one, or was it like the heart one?
I don't know.
But Jacob, tell me if I'm wrong. Like, I am ending up feeling very bored by the video we're watching. Not because of the video itself, it's because nothing of any note or interest has happened yet. Yeah, I will say that I am not bored necessarily, but that's also because, like, you know, we're here in this review format. But if I was watching this casually, it wouldn't bother me so much because, again, it's only like 12 minutes long. We're like mostly through the end of it, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, if it had gone on for a bit longer and nothing else of note happened, I'd be like, this is not really, you know. You must hate blues pops, Ghosty.
like, I'm not mad that there's been no action scenes happening. I'm mad that pretty much the story hasn't advanced that much yet.
Like, that's my point. I'm not into action. I just don't like that there's nothing happening.
The most interesting thing that happened was the person jumping out the window.
Like, that is the most... Like, it has... Like, I get it. Some series can have no conflicts. Like, I am the one writing a series, you know, to where nothing happens but a character walking around seeing interesting things.
The true Seinfeld experience. I'm kidding.
I hate you for that.
It's a show about nothing, everyone. Clearly, nothing happens in this.
But it feels like nothing of consequence has happened yet. It's like, this is actually pretty standard.
I will say, the whole Seinfeld's a gem thing. It was not a dig at the show itself. It was more of a dig at like people like receiving it as like, you know, everyone says it's a show about nothing, and it very much isn't a show about nothing. That's what I meant. It's kind of like, you know, the whole you got to have a high IQ to understand Rick and Morty thing, and it's like, well, I mean, not necessarily. Some people look to Rick and Morty for the lowbrow. Let's be real. Anyway,
I've never watched.
To defend blues pops a little bit as well. The problem with blues pops was lack of payoff. It wasn't necessarily because of because no action occurred in like the build up because they traveled to different places. They built after different elements, and Eli did actually at least use like the royal palaces, like the royal centers, like of these different locations. And there was a little bit of like a quest and a journey to get there, especially for season 2. The problem was, again, you know, once it got down to like, okay, we've got all these pieces together, it wasn't much of a challenge to get them. That was the issue number 1. Issue number 2 was, like I said, lack of payoff, because that's where the whole fight thing happened. So that was the problem with blues pops. It wasn't necessarily that it was boring, but it was unsatisfying. At least that's what I found anyway.
Really? Oh, thanks. It's not like I would have forced you into joining.
No problem. I guess we'll be a two-man or rather gal club.
I'd have it no other way.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
There's no members we could find, and I might just change my mind.
Hello.
Shouldn't there be like a required member count to keep it a club? Because why not? Why use the space for like 30 people?
Well, because the library. Well, look at this library. They have enough space anyway.
There.
But under normal circumstances, that is a rule that they have. It's like, you know, you use some members to like give a club. That's meant not because of space, but because of the funds involved in keeping the clubs open. Which, yeah, would be the issue. Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. I've never been to Charles Entertainment Cheese.
I have, actually. A very, very long time ago, I still live in the US. And they played Crocodile Rock by Elton John, which I knew from a Bob the Builder Christmas special. So I thought it was, I thought, hey, that's the Bob the Builder song.
That's a Bob the Builder song.
That's how long ago it was since I last went to Chuck E. Cheese. Or at all, because they're gone now, but anyway.
This is the book club, right?
I mean, yes. Feel free to join.
I guess these two have bad blood, but we haven't.
You shouldn't be going like, if you need members, why are these people pretty much insulting people they want to join?
That's a good point. Again, we don't know of any bad blood between Harmony and Charles just yet, so I'm guessing we're going to get like those details in a future episode. Or, as the title of the episode implies, we're not supposed to read into it.
Charles took Harmony's copy of Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. That's why they're beefing.
Thank you. I think I will.
Guess we're not a two-girl club anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun while it lasted, I guess. The 3 seconds it endured. Anyway.
Wasn't even 3 seconds, more like half a second.
We need at least 3 members to be an official club.
Oh, there you go. You were right.
So he's a blessing in disguise.
Or just a blessing, but again, we don't know about this guy's history.
Blessing in disguise. Well, what's the disguise? The fact he's a man?
No, the fact that these two clearly have some history that we haven't gotten into yet.
That we're also not supposed to be looking into.
Yeah. Or reading into, yeah. Imagine Isekai Magic Mystery Story, a group of students find a medieval library that the school was built on the grounds if they get sucked into other stories of one of the books. Another idea for the list. I think I've been all on my list recently. Yeah, that is a very good thing, actually.
Hear me
also,
out.
I'm pretty sure this is the same channel that did the Fartnado dub, but this is original content, so it is captions and voice acting rather than a dub in that sense. Although, now that I say that, maybe that was WizGaming's MO at the time. You know, create the video and then get the videos to dub over the video rather than the script. Like, I mean, I've never seen it done that way before, but there's no reason that it couldn't be in theory. That would technically count as the script for them, but also not, because it would have been like typical gacha would have been constructed without one, so I would not recommend it. I guess I take it back what I just said. I do see a reason why it shouldn't be like that, but yeah, I think this is meant to be captions and voice acting, most likely.
Hear me out. An isekai anime that takes place in 2 worlds, the one they originate from and the new one, and every time they die in each one, they go back to the other one.
I mean, yeah.
Please don't give him more ideas. She has enough.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, you said you're looking for show ideas, so yeah, keep that one for you. We'll reserve that one. Also, yeah, there's a book series that exists that's basically that. It's called Magic Treehouse. I adore Magic Treehouse. Like, that was one of the things that actually, my mum used to volunteer at my primary school in Spain as sort of as doing like a book exchange that was designed to encourage reading in English. It was like all English books, and then also on top of that, she was allowed to take like a few members of like each like in our English classes, like in groups depending on our reading level. we'd go like to hell. We'd read through a book together. We would talk about the book, basically. Again, all in English. And actually, because I was already such a massive fan of Magic Treehouse, thanks to my elementary school in the US, where the teachers read those stories to us. I then suggested that as a thing to bring over for my reading group, which did happen. And that's where the infamous Jack and Annie build a sheep story comes from. Because what happened was, it was I think Magic Treehouse 5 was the one where they went to Hawaii. And what I thought at the time is because when it was time when we were reading around the class so basically it's like, your mission is to go to Hawaii and build a sheep, like basically like that, and then it would go around, and then it continued like this for a couple of weeks basically, and then we were in the middle of the book, and it finally got to my turn where I read the word ship for the first time, because they were talking about like wood and nails constantly about building this giant sheep. That I was like, wait, what are we talking about? It's like, oh, they're building a ship, guys. And my mum stopped the reading, stop me from continuing, and then like on the board wrote wrote the words sheep and ship, and then like there was like one particular girl who had like read it the most times by coincidence. It was also the first one to read it and start the confusion. She said, okay, can you read this word to me? Sheep. Okay, now this one. Sheep. So I'm like, okay, wait a second.
Did you think it was just like a different instance of there, and there?
Kind of. Where it was worse because it was two nouns, so the whole story made less sense to me until it was cleared up. So yeah, long story short, if people wonder why Federico had such a convincing Spanish accent, I have had plenty of experience. Anyway, I don't remember sheep building. Yeah, there's a reason for
that. You do not construct sheep unless you are a scientist working on the cloning project. Then you are technically constructing a sheep.
But you don't use wooden nails to do that. Or go to a random beach in Hawaii.
No, instead, you take the embryonic cells of the sheep and then put them in another sheep. Well,
Yeah.
you put them in a freezer, you have them spin around a little bit, and then you construct the other sheep.
Yeah, I was like, Jack and Annie, what are you doing?
But instead of constructing the sheep out of wooden nails, it's constructed out of genetic material stolen from other sheep.
I don't
Or
know
the
that
same
novels
sheep,
actually.
if you're into that.
I've never watched or read the Magic Treehouse. I don't even know if it's a show.
I don't know if it's a show either, actually. I mean, it was successful enough to be one.
Yes.
I would have thought, but I mean, I don't know.
Maybe I'll put it on my
into
list.
actually.
The Magic Treehouse does have a show, and it does have a sequel that's less. It's made for adults, so it's bad.
Wait, what? How do you make the Magic Treehouse for adults? Jack and Annie file their taxes. What?
No, but it has like more of a story about Miss Frizzle's extended family.
That's the Magic School Bus.
Yeah, I think it's the Magic School Bus that I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Magic School Bus very much is a show that I was also a huge fan of, and they had novelized versions of episodes and also pictures books as well, which, so a combination of those things. Another thing I was hugely into, Magic Treehouse, I only knew about the novels / novellas or whatever they would count out as. Basically, I didn't know they had graphic novels until Gusky mentioned it right now. So I don't know if there's a show associated with them, because I only knew them as books. So, long nail into the sheep. I knew it was made out of wood because they mentioned the wood, but yeah, very close.
Jacob, do your best Chuckles filing taxes impression.
I wonder if I can use all of my different deaths as deductibles. I'm gonna put Klutzy down as a dependent. He had to take so much time in clown heck. If Pat gets a second job from me, I think it makes sense. There you go.
I guess.
Right, so, I'm gonna go visit Jake in the field.
Oh, wow. So you're in this club for only a few... Oh, I see this is only sign-up day, so yeah, fair enough.
You two wanna
The
go?
8th ring of heck. Clown.
Well, there is clown heck that does exist in in Once Upon a Witchlight. I don't know why Klutzy went there, to be honest. Oh no, because Chuckles sucked him to there. That's what he said. Yeah.
If you feel my presence is necessary,
Klutzy was gonna go to clown heaven.
Yeah, and honestly should have. Yeah.
We need
Mr.
Klutzy to get his
Gideon, I
revenge.
don't think I'm in heaven at all. If you catch Jake singing, don't interrupt. That feels like Music Freak's advice, to be honest.
Also, Gideon has killed 2 clowns. At least 2 clowns.
I
the way-
think he's up to 4.
Unpopular opinion, but Music Freaks is pretty mid.
That's not unpopular on Gacha Review.
What's mid?
Well, mid is in neither good nor bad. Middle of the
No,
road.
I know what mid means. I'm asking what you're saying is mid.
The
Music
Music
Freaks.
Freaks.
The Music Freaks is essentially a fully Gacha animated production with custom backgrounds and music.
Yeah. Described as the most popular Gacha series that is to ever exist, because people don't count Cookie Swell C. So I don't know. To each their own, I suppose. But either way, it's the one that had the most like avid fan base and still does to this day. And we have reviewed all 11 episodes that currently exist plus the spin-offs. And yeah, we can definitely say that yes, I would consider it to be overrated, but still good. Some of the rating is appropriate. It's just, people described it as perfection incarnate. And from the
No,
beginning,
it's not perfection incarnate. In fact, I have a problem with a few of the songs in Music Freaks.
Well, let me tell you about that. I'm kidding. I've already done the reviews. People know my opinions on the songs of Music Freaks.
They never tell you that in the songs.
All they talk about is chase scenes. What is even going on? Why is he in my bed? Oh.
Yeah, that's one of the songs I have the most problems with. Probably because it feels like a song that was created and shoehorned in for the purpose of having a second musical number in that episode.
Which that episode did not need. If they had cut it off at the end of the first verse, it would have been fine because it did match. But they continued to make the inside your bed joke and then cut it off early anyway. You could tell the song was going to continue, but they still sliced it off because Zan just like pieces out and leaves the room. It's like, get back here. You're not done yet.
We're not done yet. We're supposed to duet this musical number about me being in your bed.
Was it? I don't think it was a duet song, but oh my goodness.
No, I'm making a joke about the song being unintentionally very gay.
Oh well, okay.
Between two characters that have no business being shipped together.
Oh no, that was FAFSA. FAFSA was the one that's had the song that was
oh no, Music
too
Freaks
gay by accident.
Music Freaks has a little bit of that too.
Yeah, and then what happened? And then I think like 2 episodes later was Seasons, so Xander already had something set up for him. So I don't know. Oh well.
Oh, you gotta love it.
Yeah. Dare I say maybe Rosie Closey might have been writing the show like as she went along and potentially like leaned into the Lander side of things just to get people off like the back of like Jake and Xander, maybe. A little bit of mini theory there.
A little bit of a baby theory.
Yeah, potentially. I would say compared to it a lot. Yes, but okay. When we compare your situation, we're comparing it it work based on the positives. Like obviously we just dunked on it right now, but in general, yeah, like the positive side of things where we normally compare in terms of your show. Because I'll be honest, excess aside, I would take Jiggers of the Plex over a lot of the plot points in Music Freaks, because at least they feel thought out half the time.
I dump Rosie Closey's jokes like I dump cookies. Which means there's a lot of dunking going on.
Oh, yeah, alright, fair enough.
So much dunking that American runs on it.
And the Gacha community at large as well, yes. I don't think Rosie possessed her fans, but yeah, like it was kind of like Not Your Average Girl when that came out. It was leagues above the rest of things, but at least with Not Your Average Girl, at least for me, I was able to like objectively say like, okay, I don't like everything about this, but I like some things. It's not gonna. There is never going to be a perfect show, but yeah, when something is praised, for being perfect specifically, that only like incites me more to dig into it and be like, okay, wait a second. I got challenged by KW to find what the issue with the inheritance games. I still haven't forgotten that.
Like, I wouldn't have watched Music Freaks if it wasn't for Gacha Review, so I thank you for introducing me to a mid-show.
You're very welcome, I guess. It's one of the only shows that I was on Gacha Review that I expect people to more people would have already seen compared to seeing it for the first time on Gacha Review. So there you are. I say one of the only. Actually, there are more now.
Before Gacha Review, I didn't even know the Pops universe was a thing, but now I do.
Oh, well, yeah, like that. The Pops franchise isn't as popular. Although, speaking of the Pops, actually, I've been looking at some messages people sent today on the Pops server. Oh wait, no, it wasn't today. It was actually I scrolled up because I had like a few I was missing. People talking about like how Total TV returns actually. So, I mean, apparently they're planning to start with new videos in some way. Whether or not it's more Super Pops content is we don't know yet.
Like, I hope it's Super Pops content because obviously there is a fan base for it.
Yes, but there's also a lot of controversy and behind the scenes issues that they ran into that would prevent them from continuing. And that's why they stopped in the first place. So you never know. The mini stories, the one I've gone back and watched Lunar Sun Studios. Another creator that I keep forgetting to like add to the list. Like Charity got onto the list, but Lunar Sun Studios has like no very much to go back to, and I keep forgetting. Must continue we must watch Lunar Sun Studios. Remember that.
Is the Pops Discord a private server?
No, it's mostly used by people making stuff in the franchise or intending to, like myself. But there are people in there that are just fans of the series. So yeah, you can very much join that if you want.
You might need to send me the link after stream.
Yeah, fair enough. Because actually, that would also be good because I don't have you on Discord. It would save me from sending you the StreamYard invites in the public chat. That'd be perfect. Yeah. I just watched them. There's the joke on myself for ramp. That's the last one we reviewed, I think. So yeah, makes sense. It's the dark version of Aladdin. Anyway,
trust me, babe. It jumps out a window.
Yeah. No, I think of that scene in Amazing World of Gumball where he's like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Not gonna make it. Anyway.
How about you, Harmony? You coming?
You guys can go without me for now.
Okay, that line delivery was casual. I'm gonna say the staging of it was wrong in this case, because why was she so excited to be like, I don't care, ha! Like that doesn't fit, but the delivery does. So yeah.
I don't.
Hi, Spring Boy. Welcome back.
I want to make a pop series, but I suck at singing.
If you need singers, let me know. Oh, that reminds me. The Alpha Sisters battle is probably over. They tend to finish quite quickly, so I most likely missed that slot again. But oh well. I forgot that was even happening again.
I'm gonna wait to see if anybody else joins.
Do you trust me? Yes, you shouldn't.
So, what made you decide to join the book club?
Well.
Okay, this background reminds me a lot of Doki Doki. Aside from the whole Literature Club comparison, I feel like this one.
Books have
yeah.
been part of my life for a long time.
Why did I say really? Okay?
Like just the three of us.
Just the three of us. We probably can't make it even if we try.
But the numbers are now high enough that our club can fly.
So,
Why do you want to know?
geez,
Hopefully it
just
doesn't
great.
die.
She's trying to make banter. What are you?
Yeah, every time he just shuts her down. It's like, hey, would you like interested in the Martial Arts Club? I would destroy everyone there. How dare you insinuate that I would enjoy such mundanity? Like, okay, jeez.
Honestly, I think he deserves all the hate now.
Like, who stepped in your cereal?
Same person stepped in Xander's, probably.
He always wakes up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
No matter which side he wakes up on.
Well, he's crawling in his skin, and the wounds will not heal.
Get out of my skin!
Just the two of us. We won't make it if we try. Tried to make my vehicle fly, and now we're falling through the sky.
And now we're about to die.
Yeah, and we're probably going to die. Our medical bills are high.
Well,
maybe I should
no
just die.
Yeah, well, we said die already, but yeah, close enough. Maybe picking up this new Sun package. Maybe tomorrow, depending. If again, I'm trying to get a project out. If I get the project out tomorrow, then I'll talk about something specific tomorrow. But if I don't, maybe Lunar Sun Studios.
I have no reason not to tell you. Then books are
The items that I broke with my karate chops constantly. I didn't have wooden planks, but books also came from trees. It counts.
the items that I consider my friends.
What?
Why so?
I don't think it concerns you.
Excuse me,
Well,
sir.
why would you offer that information if you don't want someone to follow up? Jeez. He's worse than I am at small talk.
Hey guys, come to sign up?
Actually, we came to watch you play.
Oh, what a misunderstanding.
Yeah, are they playing a game on orientation day? That's not normally how these things go down.
We don't play on sign up days.
Yeah, see, right there you go.
At least, not on the high school team.
Not anymore.
Reminiscing
Not
about middle school
baseball
days,
day.
yeah.
Insult me more, why don't you? I don't really care.
No one
Okay,
was
so before,
insulting
to remind people, Jake had an issue before in terms of, he was the captain of the middle school team, but he doesn't like how he's not the captain this time because he, for some reason, thought those two things would translate. I don't know why, but there you go. He's kind of dumb, I guess. And so any jabs at how the high school team is run, he's going to use, just in case anyone forgot that plot point from earlier.
Oh.
So, you just gonna stand there, or...?
Just gonna stand there and watch you play.
Well,
that won't work because there is no match today.
Well,
Suit yourself. I just thought it'd be pretty cool to have more members on the squad. Especially a girl. Or a karate freak.
let's just go back to
Or
the class.
karate freak?
Just so he doesn't feel left out, Of course.
Yeah, gotta put him in.
I'm just imagining him like playing in goal, like constantly and constantly like every time someone shoots, he just goes hi-ya! When like no one scores against him ever. She seems so dead and bony. I thought jumping the ramp was the key. Now I have set us all free. What did I say? Do you trust me? I love that.
Oh, you know that Titanic scene?
That's
like where he's holding him at he's holding her at like the tip at the boat of the boat.
Yes.
What if he just pushed her?
Okay. I mean,
How to save
intrusive
yourself
thoughts, I
from
guess.
the intrusive thoughts one.
Yeah, Jack probably had that intrusive thoughts. I would imagine so. Anyway, you try. No, that really worked. Aside from like the I've said it's all free missing a syllable, you were spot on there. Fantastic. That's a later scene, but yeah. Video was a little underwhelming or boring. Ah, well, there you go. Saying the long wait. Wiz has been lacking motivation for a while now, but has managed to complete this episode. Don't worry, future episodes will be way more interesting. It's just that this one was focused more on setting up the plot. Yeah, it did definitely feel like that. I was going to mention that earlier, but I waited after Ghosty made that comment because I didn't know if that was going to be the case throughout. It does seem to be. Well, actually, now I say that, I'm going to check to see if there's anything else in this episode. No, we have the credits. Oh, speaking of motorbikes, okay then, your neighbor's back. I eat beans with cream, and it may seem that I could see the bee.
The bee.
Yeah. So, there you go. Jupiter. All right.
Jupiter. That is the name of my stand.
An enemy
it's several times more powerful in the world because it's a much larger world. Yes.
I wonder who the enemy stand user could be.
Its main power is red spot.
Mm-hmm. It spreads with red spots over everything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even do anything. It's just a mild inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the JoJo stand that's just the sun?
Yes. I also remember the JoJo stand that's an entire boat.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of them is the world, if I recall correctly. So, I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Dio.
Yeah. So, I mean, it tracks, I guess.
You may think I'm just a Gacha review guys, but in fact, it was me, Dio.
It was I, Chuckle, the whole time. My stand is Klutzy. It was going to be Gideon, but hasn't died yet, so I can't use him.
And when he uses the stand, it just starts levitating up from Clown Heck.
Yeah. Actually, Chuckles himself would be a great stand, not gonna lie. Chuckles all along, absolutely. Okay.
This is my stand, Clown College.
Just the building. The stand is
activate my stand. Bad French.
Oh no.
It's only way to be counted if an angry French person shows up.
The only stand that could defeat mine is angry French person. Oh! He's right there.
Oh no!
Okay. Right. So back to this video. So in reference to what Ghost was saying earlier about like this feeling boring, yeah, it was because exactly what Wiz said there, that it was that it was all set up for something continuing. And that's usually okay for like parts of an episode, but you don't want everything to be set up. You want unless it's like to some extent you could say the character setup involving James, at least being like interacting with them and possibly what's happening with Harmony, that was something, and we did get to that after we commented on how boring the episode was. Oh wait, no, it was just before actually. Never mind. No, it was right after. Yeah. But yes, aside from that, yeah, if it's all a case of like you want to like put the pieces together, it's not usually going to grab people as much as you're hoping for. It's a trap that Fallen Angels almost fell into, because Aiden did say that season 1 of Fallen Angels was intended to mostly set up like the lore and pieces, and there were several scenes that like very much like just a case of like, okay, we're expositing how angel powers work, how the mechanics go about, how the society is going down, basically. But it was mixed. But the thing is, it was mixed in with all this other stuff going on in all these different episodes, and the escalating states of either Chase or later, as that gets solved, Abraxas.
Like, you can have everything be set up, or else it'll be all set up and all set up and no execution.
And there's the real comparison to the Blues Pops, like I mentioned earlier. That's what really happened to them.
Oops, all set up. Anyways, in my opinion, the outfits could be better. The Crystal voice actor's mic could have also been better, but that's not really a fault on their end.
Yeah. I don't know what people's situations are with mic qualities. As someone who has had some terrible mics in the past, or lack thereof, and just used PC, default mic for multiple years when I started YouTube. It's been.
I don't know if it was Harmony's tone or something, or just way of speaking, but she sounded kind of manipulative.
Yeah, this whole episode was just her manipulating the main character to join her club.
It was, I mean, even with the physicality being much more intense as well, it was like, there's like, she was practically strong-armed, essentially.
I'm not sure if I like that.
Yeah, joining I mean, April already joined the club because her friend had no one who signed up. That was motivation enough, to be honest, like checking in with somebody else. We didn't need the extra stuff on top of that, either. So even then, some character choices don't necessarily, work.
Like, it would be great if, the main character just joined the club full of her friends because, I like the familiarity of being close to people I know. I know I want to put myself out there, but putting myself out there too far might stress me out. So it's like, hey, a club full of familiar faces to balance out all of the new faces I'm going to be meeting.
Also, the background music was too loud for some of the characters. Like, for example, the teacher.
Yeah. I mean, if you just...
Like, I didn't hear what the teacher was saying when they were speaking half the time.
No, the captions are a saving grace in that regard, but they shouldn't be relied upon necessarily.
Because why have voice acting for a character if you can barely hear them?
Yeah, like there are some people that are hard of hearing, so I understand the importance of captions, whether or not they be YouTube's captions or in the video themselves. I get that aspect, and they can also be used for funny purposes, especially like in the MCYT sphere in the past 5 years. Very much so. But yeah, not as a crutch necessarily.
Meanwhile, here it feels like the annotations are a crutch for bad editing and voice acting. Or mediocre execution.
Also, I'm so sick of Gacha school plots and eating too much of the same thing in moderation, please. Fun fact: the most well-known Gacha critic, Gingerbread, actually despises high school dramas for not despises, but comments on oh yeah, classic thing in a Gacha in a high school constantly whenever it comes up as a series that she reviewed. She used to do this thing where they're called Ginger Rated, where she reviewed a bunch of a series, a season worth of a series all in one go, with a few bits of commentary here and there, but then a final wrap up towards the end. Sort of like if Gacha Review had an abridged version and was a bit more focused, and had fewer details and everything. So yeah, it's not necessarily just my selections. It might be a bit of that. I'll bear that in mind for the future. But there is also just a lot. It also dominates the landscape of Gacha content in general as well. So yeah,
I like to think people make school shows like this because people write what they're familiar with a whole 1/4 of the time, and at least for most people, being in school, is that familiarity.
Yeah, either they're currently in the school, which is the case for a lot of GachaTubers, or they have been to school and know that their audience most likely has also
been to school.
Yeah.
It is magic school or superhero school plots that tend to deviate. There was that YouTuber high school thing. And then that other YouTuber high school thing. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah, there was that Witch Academy. There was my Witch Academy. There was Alpha Witch Academy. Yeah, which I made. Anyways,
there was one girl in all male school academy.
That's like multiple. The thing is that there are lots of story beats in Gacha that do like actively repeat themselves rather than like being tropes in terms of like, oh, being in a school. Gacha has its own tropes in terms of like, oh yeah, well these are people just copy pasted the exact same story.
The only Gacha thing I don't really like is the unoriginal like alpha stories.
Yeah, for some reason, Megaverse has crept its way into the Gacha fandom, a very adult trope.
Yeah. We're just like adult themes in general. Like not like normal adult, like not like adult, like more like the Gacha heat side of adult themes. I just hate that.
Which does go hand in hand with the Megaverse content because of where the term heat comes from originally anyway. So yeah. Or do we have a series for you? It's called Taming the Bad Boy. Yep. For example. Let's have more gachas taking place in work offices. I mean, as far as boring settings go, I don't know. maybe one or two.
Is Tame the Bad Boy safe to stream?
Well, I was going to say I streamed it, but no, I didn't. That was before I started doing live reviews. So I aired reviews of it. It's yeah. The thing is that show was actually removed by YouTube itself. My reviews are still fine. I've been unscathed for years, but the original creator, who is a friend of ours as well, the
show was smitten down by God.
Yep.
They were just like, nah, not that one.
No. Yeah, there are a handful of Gacha review series that have been either deleted by the creators over time, or YouTube removed them, or at one point actually a video got removed by the creator while it was being reviewed live. Good thing I downloaded it.
What was it?
Oh, that was Time Swap by MimiXD. Yeah, happened to disappear on the same day that it was the review was happening, and I just noticed that Mimi had uploaded it. I was like, oh, okay, I'll do this. I'll do this because why not, you know? And just as well I did what I did on that day. I imagine for a pop series, you know, I mean, if it's a bunch of like office co-workers, that's you know, some new territory for Majesty, to be honest. But yeah, it could be the case that, you know, there's like one character who works in an office and like others would do different jobs or something. Well, like more variety. But yeah. Literally not all Johnny videos, but yeah, Johnny's original channel, obviously, yeah, that's what happened to him. But yeah, so YouTube, YouTube removed his content, but he also removed some of his own. Most of that happened after the reviews came out, because Johnny is aware of the reviews, unlike some other creators where it happens just by coincidence. I don't think Viara watched our reviews of Sapphire Wings before removing Sapphire Wings. I could be wrong, but I don't think that happened.
But
then again, another series that's massively overhyped.
I just love that she has the gall to go on a Gacha Reward show and say, no regrets, and then remove Sapphire Wings just quietly, hoping nobody notices.
We need to make a meme out of that.
Was Sapphire Wings like a big thing?
Yes.
Yes.
No regrets removes a huge thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's a small thing, to be honest, that would still count as a regret.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you wanted to actually have no regrets, talk about Sapphire Wings and address its issues, and don't just quietly sweep it under the rug.
Imagine watching Sapphire Wings and being like midway through it, then it just gets deleted.
Yeah, fortunately we finished by that point, but yeah, it was a close call, I guess. Season 2 takes place post-school and now is in on a protag having a job.
There's also
like
Gacha reward shows.
Yes.
Yes, we weren't talking about those, aside from the VR reference there, but why do you bring that up suddenly?
Because I'm surprised, like, those things actually exist.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing, because Gacha, it has such a bad rep that, you know, people like just want to make it known that it should be taken seriously to the same level as, you know, like other art forms, because, you know, people are, you know, putting their investment into it, and with almost no guidance of being like berated for doing so. Some people by just merely the association from years ago.
Bro,
so
the Omegaverse ruined Gacha's reputation.
Well, yes, but that and several other things, but it was Omegaverse was like a huge contributing factor to it. So yeah, yeah. Also, yeah. Well, okay, he doesn't know what FAFSA is, but yes, those two things happened. Yeah. So, granted, the selection for a few Gacha for a few Gacha award shows, I only know of one other one that I don't host myself. So the selection for that one, I question the criteria for all of them, but you know, we've some of them actually, I completely get behind. But at least I'm glad that the Gacha Guild Awards exists. If I don't agree with their picks, I'm glad that they're a thing.
Like, I don't I'm glad that Gacha Guild Awards is a thing. I'm just sad that there seems to be some favoritism, and it features creators for the larger side of the community.
Except for the hidden gem parts that only get a passing mention. Like FAFSA, for example. Like, Misty Firefox was mentioned, but only briefly, wasn't even, like, invited to speak or anything, I don't think. Or maybe she just wasn't available on that day or something. But they moved on super quickly, not even, like, showing a clip from the show to incentivize people to go and watch it in the first place. Yeah, that felt very underhanded from them. So yeah, that's why for the Jacobs, the criteria is it has to have been on Gacha Review, so we've been able to judge it. So, you know, popular or otherwise, it's all falling under the same umbrella, and Gacha Review will always judge things by as fair criteria as we possibly can, based on people's experiences or production, even the production values to some degree, but even then. Because we're all doing our best, well, we'll supposedly be doing our best, hopefully people aren't coasting along, but, you know, that might become evident in the videos if that is the case. So I guess I totally interrupted what you were saying there.
You know what? So, like, sometimes when people say they have no regrets, let's style on them instead and pull up all of their regrets.
Yeah, I kind of want to make a YouTube short of that clip now, to be honest. With just combining the two things together. With like the boom, 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 like that thing with like just clips of Sapphire Wings. But anyway. Maybe not. On a damn feeling particularly mean-spirited. Yeah. Back to this one thing back to this video for a second here, because like one thing that could have saved this like setup, I guess to use myself as example in Alpha Witch Academy, the episode 2 was also not set up for like the school itself, but it was set up for like the foreign exchange students that were there. So it meets a lot of them in quick succession. We do like a typical introduction, but also it's interspersed between, you know, the reunion between Erica and Satoshi and Erica's actual struggles, but she's also going through anyway. And like that, I feel was what like kept people invested more so than just the aspect of the magic and the surprise of the 3 principles descending from the sky, you know, as it happens. So, you know, so something more character themed, more I guess more related to potentially like the thing between like April and Rose, maybe a bit more like how that was going, that would have affected her, or maybe if she actually did try to join the drama club, but it was awkward to be around Rose, or she wasn't ready, or I don't know. Like she overheard something later on and was like, no, on second thought, this is not the environment for me, and then goes back to the book club. Maybe. Like, I would also show that April's trying to patch things up between herself and Rose, and it was only after that she like came back and then, you know, Harmony would have to go and find her in that case.
What would have been a nice touch is that if she had the insults from some of the club members. You know, kind of like how she used to wear rags, and now the clothes she has aren't too bad, but still kind of ratty.
Yeah, even then, she's a rich girl. She didn't used to wear rags at all. That was just the character being hyperbolic. Like, no one else is going to buy that. Also, the fact that it took place 3 weeks after the first episode, and we haven't seen like any evolving friend dynamics, means that either April is not as good socializing as he thought she was, or the campaign against her is more effective than we've been led to believe. And I can't tell which one just yet. I don't know. But yeah, Ghost Kitty, your library of stories is about as vast as the one we saw in this episode.
I'd say it's around about 3 of those.
It's just this episode particularly, it had so much like potential to increase the friend dynamic that it just unfortunately didn't use.
In my opinion, it would have been least better if there was even just a cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah. They seem to be aware that it would come across as underwhelming, which is well, at least reassuring. They were like convinced like this was the way to go at the time. But yeah, the only character beats that I that really seemed to work for me were probably the ones at the beginning between Harmony and Jake, with like how they competed for like who would be like who would be at school earliest or something. That feels like sibling rivalry that they would have. But yeah, aside from that, we had April and James shutting down any attempt to actually involve him in the episode. Like, I don't know.
Those Kitty, enjoy your dinner.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I'm going to enjoy my dinner as well. I think we've made all of our points here. So
remember to like or dislike, because your opinion matters.
And
if
you haven't subscribed, if you haven't done so already.
And on that note, until next time, farewell.
Farewell.
Farewell.